Hello and welcome to Stamping Fun with Donna. I'm Donna and today I'm going to be showing you a Monday Mini. What is a Monday Mini, you may ask? Well, we all have times where we have to do intricate cards for special occasions, but we also have times where we're just running out the door and we don't have time to do an intricate card, but we still want to make something for wherever we're going that is beautiful. And so that's what Monday Minis are about. They're about making gorgeous cards that anyone would be very happy to receive, but doing it in a short amount of time when you don't have time to make more intricate things. When that happens, your best friend is going to be designer series paper, because designer series paper is gorgeous by itself. This comes from the, oh gosh, I always keep forgetting that name. Delightful Dreams set of papers, and every paper in here is absolutely beautiful. So when you open it up, it looks like this. It's a very special card, and yet I guarantee you can make it in about 10 minutes or less, because it's very easy. It looks a lot more difficult than it actually is. So I'm going to bring up my Stampin' Cut. I'm going to bring up my trimmer, and we're going to go ahead and get started with this. So what we need is we need a piece of paper from this paper pack, and I have one that's from the other half of the sheet, I'll say, that I made this with. So I started making it, and then I thought, oh gosh, this would be a beautiful and great Monday Mini. So I already did it, but I'll show you what we did. All you have to do is take your 12 by 12 designer series paper and cut it at 5 1/4 in this direction. So now it's 5 1/4 by 12. And then what we want to do is, I'm going to move this slightly out of the way, is we want to score it. And we want to score it with our trimmer at 2 inches here and 4 inches here. And then what I do is I flip it around and I do 2 inches on the other side and then 4 inches on the other side. If you'd rather go straight across, it's 2, 4, 8, and 10. But for me, it's easier if you just say it's 2 and 4 and do the same thing on the other side. So that's what I usually do. So now we have this piece of designer series paper that is scored, and that's beautiful. When you pick a paper for this card, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you like both sides and that they go well together. Most papers do, but sometimes you don't get that, so you just want to check that. The other thing you want to make sure is that there isn't a design in a particular way. For instance, this is another piece of paper from the same pack of paper, and this one wouldn't be good because of the squares. They would end up going a little bit wonky. So you just want to make sure it doesn't have a nap, it doesn't have a directional on it, and that you like both sides and that they go well together. So now what we do is we go ahead, and if we want this to be the inside, we would have it this way. But I actually want this to be the inside. So I'm going to flip it over so that the inside is up. Then what you want to do is you want to fold it at the 4 inch mark like this. And it's always better if with things like this, with fun folds, if you use your bone folder. And then you want to fold the other one back. So you fold at the 4 inch mark towards the center. And let's do this. I hadn't done the bone folder yet. I just gotten started on it and thought, this is a great Monday Mini. Then you fold the 2 inch back again like this and use the bone folder. And then all you need to do is to take the corners. You've got a regular gatefold, and this is 4 inches wide, so it's perfect for the inside. And then you want to take each of the corners and you want to just sort of bring the point in so that it meets in the middle. So let's do this one here. And then we want to fold this one in, and we want to do it right here. Right. And then we want to do it on the same on the other side. Bring this point in, crease it, and bring the fourth point in and crease that as well. There we go. Now I'm just going to use the bone folder to get these creases down nice, because they'll be nice and crisp with the bone folder, which is always really important with fancy folds, because otherwise they open up a little bit. Like this one, I didn't use the bone folder, and you can tell it's a little bit more springy than this one is. So that's what we want. I'm going to go ahead and set these aside for just a second, because next thing we have to do is to do the is to decorate it. So what I have here is, that's the beautiful Begonia, or Begonia Belle. That's the July product of the month through Stampin' Up. If you spend $75 or more in one order, then you can buy this for just $5. It is a beautiful, beautiful set, and it's a steal at $5. It's still available, so even though it's the beginning of August, you can still get this one if you haven't yet. You can only get one of them, but if you haven't yet gotten it, you can go ahead and get that. And we're going to go ahead and decorate with that. So what I used here, you can see there's some stitching on it. What I used there is the Stylish Shapes dies. Now the Stylish Shapes dies, if you don't have this, this is a staple. You really should have this in your stamp room. So there's 5 different circles, 4 different banners, and 5 different squares. And it looks like 4 because I've already pulled one of them out for us to use. So it's the largest that we're going to be using today, the largest of the Stylish Shape squares. There we go. Put it down there, and now I'm going to pull up the Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine. So here we go. Let me grab the die. And as I always say, you don't need to remember this. You don't even need to be able to read, because it says right on here that when you're using with dies, you use plate number 1, 2, and 2 3s. So here's plate number 1. Here's plate number 2. We want to put one of the 3s down, and then we want to hold on to the other one for now. What we're going to do next is to bring in a piece of paper. So there we go. And then we're going to cut the Stylish Shapes square out of it. Now, if you can put it like this, but you will hear a big clunk, and it's not as good for your machine or as good for your die. So if you have something that's got a very long front end, it's always better to put it on an angle, because it's better pressure for the machine and for the die if it's not all at one time. So it goes in through the point, and then it gradually gets the rest. So we're just going to go ahead and run this through the machine like this, and we should have a beautifully cut out square here. See, with stitching and all. And that's all we are going to need the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back down for now. The next thing we need is we need to have something around. You don't need to. You could just take this and just put it on here as is. I prefer to have something else that, well, maybe not. Look, either one of those looks beautiful. But I usually make them with another piece of paper here. Here I have Secret C. And if you're using the largest of the Stylish Shapes squares, then all you need to do is to cut something that is 3 by 3 square, and you will be able to line it around perfectly. So this is 3 inches wide, and then I just want to cut it at 3 inches the other direction. And then we have the next piece of paper for it. So what we want to do next is to go ahead and do the stamping. Here's again the Begonia Belle, so that hopefully you can see that. Get it in the shot. There we go. So we want to use the Begonia Belle stamp set for this. It's a 2-step stamp. So you have this one and this one. I've played around with it. You can do them with different colors. You can do them with the same color with one stamped off. You can do it with this one stamped off and this one full strength. You can do it with this one stamped off and this one full strength. It doesn't matter. And they all come out absolutely beautifully. But today we're going to be using fresh freesia, and we're going to be stamping one off and not stamping the other off. So here's my piece of paper. I have one more thing I want to tell you, is before you stamp, notice that it goes diagonally. Because if you stamp it this way and you're holding it square, it's going to be sideways. It's going to be pointed towards the corner. So what you need to do is to make sure, particularly when you've got a sentiment, that it's in the right direction. I once did this and I forgot to turn it, and it was like this, and the best wishes was down here. So I just did a square of best wishes all the way around. So you don't have to throw it out. You can also use the other side, but I just wanted to tell you that as a little hint there. Okay, so we're gonna take this one and we're going to ink it up, and we're going to go ahead and stamp it a little bit up because we do have the sentiment to put on it, at full strength, and just let it soak in for a second, and then you can go ahead and pick that off. Now we're going to take the other one and we're going to also ink that up just the same way, but before we use it, we're going to stamp it once here. It's called stamping off for second generation. And now what we want to do is we want to line it up with this stamp here. I like to line it up. See these areas that are white? I find it's easiest to line it up there because it's not white here, and you can see that's the way it goes. And put that on, let it sit for a minute, and now you've got a beautiful shape. A lot of people say it doesn't look like a begonia to them. It looks like a rose. It could be lots of different flowers, I think. I don't think it has to be a begonia. And now we have the best wishes stamp that we put in the same color right here. Great. And all we have to do is to take this and take the white piece of paper that we just stamped on, and to go ahead and to glue it onto the other piece of paper. And I've done so many of these, and right now I don't see my glue. I had the glue here just a second ago when I made the last one and thought, I should stop. And I don't know what I did with my glue. So if you follow me, you'll know that I do that a lot. I put things aside thinking that they're gonna be great, and then I can't find it. And it was right behind me. There you go. I don't know if I got my shoulder in that picture, but it was directly behind me. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put this, glue this right onto the dark side of the secret C. Right like that. Okay, good. Now there's one more thing we want to do before we put this onto the rest of the card. That is, you don't have to do this, it's an extra step, but these come up. And so I put a little dot of glue here and a little dot of glue here, and I just press them down and let them sit for a minute. There we go. You don't have to do it on the other side because when you put this on top, it's gonna hold them down. But on the side that you do not put your sentiment on, you need to just, or you don't need to, but I like to glue those down just like that. Now, when this goes on, it's gonna go on right in the middle. You're gonna put it right like that, so it goes from the trowel to the trowel. And then you're gonna need to open it like this, which means that you can't put any glue here, because if you put glue there, you're gonna end up not being able to open it. So you wanna put glue just on this side. So turn it over and put glue just here, and then it will still be able to open. So now we're gonna take the piece that says best wishes and has the stamping on it, and we're going to close both sides of the card and line up the points in the trowel and just let it sit for a minute. This side, as I said, should not be glued down, but the left side here should be glued down. So let me let it sit for just a minute so it gets nice. It's a permanent, the Tombow liquid glue is a permanent ink, but it's not immediate. So you want to, I mean, it's a permanent glue, but it's not immediate. So you just want to give it a second. And then I think I got a little glue smushy there, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to take off the little glue smushy there too. So that's the way the card goes. That's all there is to it. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper and we're going to cut inside and make it 5 inches. Or is it this way is 5 inches? Yep, this way is already. Nope, it's this way is 4 3/4. You know what? I'm going to use 4 3/4 because this one's already cut to that, and that way I won't waste any paper. Normally I do 5 inches by 3 3/4, so this time I'm going to do 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. There we go. And then I take this and I take this white and I glue it right in the center here of the open part so that you have a place to write your sentiment. And so let's go ahead and put the liquid glue on there. Take this and put it in the center. And now you have a place to write your sentiment that you want to add to this card. The last little bit that I do is that I take the same pieces, the piece of designer series paper, and I told you that you cut it at 5.5. If you cut it at 6 inches, of course, it's right in the middle. I usually cut that 1 inch off, and then I use it to make a strip. This strip is, I actually cut it in half again, or cut it down smaller again. So this strip is 3/4 inches wide, and now I just have to cut it to equal what I did here on the white for the sentiment. So that was, we did 5 3/4, so it was 3.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off a little bit there, because you know me, you know I like to put in the middle of the card something on the sentiment area. So you can put it down this way so that it brings in the outside, or you can put it down this way that is more like the inside. I like doing the outside because if you put it in this way, it kind of looks like it's just a shorter piece of white paper like that, right? Or you can move it up a little bit and do it, but I like to bring this side in, which means I put the glue right there on the little strip, and then I turn it over and I add it right here at the bottom. There we go. And the last thing I think I'm gonna do here is to add a little bit of gems. These are, which ones are these? These are the shimmering dots. They're absolutely beautiful. I was thinking of doing the white, but I'm not sure. Let's take a look and see. I thought it might be a little too light. I don't know where that white one went. Every once in a while, I take one off and I lose it. I don't know, I'll find it sometime. I thought it might be a little bit too light, but let's take a look. If we put one here, no, I think that's beautiful. The blue shines through it. And then put, that was a medium, and here is a small. And on the bottom, for the third, we will put the large. Put that maybe there. And just making a triangle, it is visually pleasing to create a triangle like that. That's everything. That's the entire card. You can definitely do this card in 10 minutes or less. Write a little sentiment in the car on the way wherever you're going, and you have a beautiful card to say thank you to whoever you're going to, a birthday card or whatever it is you need a card for. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try to make this. If you do, please, and you put it anywhere, please tag me in it. Also, I'm trying to grow my channel, so please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps a lot for me to get the word out there and be able to do more of these types of videos. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.